What is going on, guys? The New Orleans Saints just took care of business. How about that one-handed catch by Jimmy Graham? What's going on, Mud? What's going on, Untouchable? So it looks like the line has settled for this game at 5.5. 43% of bets on the Browns, 40% of the money on the Browns. The OU, it looks like it's anywhere at 47.5 up to 48. 58% of bettors on the over, 54% of the money on the over. Money line at these books, at least, plus 225, anywhere from plus 190 to plus 225. 42% of bettors, 28% of bets. So what does that translate out to? So the money is split pretty evenly on the money line, despite it looking pretty heavy for Steelers. So books not taking too much exposure on this game. They're pretty much just happy to pretty much take money on both sides. Best finish for them would be the Steelers to win by 3 or less would be my guess. Because I'm sure some of that, a portion of that money came down on the Steelers when they were at 3.5. But I don't know if I'm going to be betting this game. This might be another game today. This no bets today in the NFL. Mud, I know you touched on this. This is the Lamar Jackson's first time coming back down 10. So now he's 1-6, I guess, in his career. Yeah, that's right, Fear. Fat guy's late as usual. Fat guy goes to the beat of his own drum. What's going on, Mickey? Yeah, he's getting his makeup done. He's just in the green room right now, getting ready to take that. I had Saints to win by 1-13 plus 150. I love Jimmy Graham. Congrats, Zafts. Yeah, it's too bad, Jake. It is too bad. I wouldn't be surprised if Fat Guy showed up with some Browns face paint on for this game. I'm not getting anything down on this game, Mickey. There's the market, like you see, is just so close. Like even that money line, like that 27%, the Browns at plus 225 is even. It's pretty much like a 50-50 split. Like books aren't taking that much risk on this game. It looks like they've kind of found equilibrium in all three of these markets. And, maybe like if there's a Steelers prop to win by 1-6 at like plus 200, something like that. But I don't know. Books aren't taking that much exposure, so there's just not a lot of value for us in this game. Mud already making some predictions. It looks like it's going to be Saints, Bucks, Packers, Rams. Yeah, Titans came off to that strong start, but Baltimore did well to come back in that game. Yeah. Jake, I would have been happy with the Titans football team Super Bowl, but oh well. Yeah, Mickey, I bet a few NBA games today, but I haven't bet any NFL. I want this game to be like their Week 17 game. I just want it to be close and competitive. I'm not gonna lie, that last game was kind of a bore to me. That game also made it official that no one's going to go undefeated wildcard weekend against the spread. But we do have a 10-way tie at 4-1. Keldar, Mad Capper, Positivity 2021, 888, Jimmy Wang, Gay for Fat Guy, aren't we all? Intergalactic Planet Terry, Cassone, the one and only Cassone continues his strong 2020, 2021 ATS, Laser Jets, the infamous JS715 is 4-1, and AKA a Jive Turkey. Fear, I would love if this game was like the Bills-Colts game. I think that would be a lot of fun. Vrabel catching hell on Twitter for that punt. Which punt is that? Oh, the one that Fat Guy lost his mind on. Yeah, the NBA markets have been there was so much at the start, like so much disparity, and the last little while it's been a lot closer, Zaps. It was the same with the NFL this year. And actually, it was interesting when the markets tightened up to that 50-50 in the NFL. That's ironically when Fat Guy and I started doing a lot better. Dave says the Pittsburgh Steelers are 24-2-1 against the Cleveland Browns. Minutes -6. I don't know what the last two things there are. But yeah, the Browns have been bad for a long time and Pittsburgh's been good for a long time. But I'm not sure what any other season has to do with this one. Yeah, Jake, I remember the punt now. It's I wasn't like blown away at the time, but yeah, it's definitely probably doesn't go with the analytics to punt there. All favor win today and under win. Congrats, Jimmy. I see that you're tied in with 888 at 4-1, so congrats. Doesn't look like Fat Guy is with us yet. I'm not sure if he was at home to watch the game or if he was out watching the game somewhere else. So there's a chance he might be getting on just a little bit later. Thanks, Eric. There's no bet that I like tonight, so I'm just leaving this game alone. There's actually, it looks like there's been some steam pushing the Browns down to +5 late. So the line has moved from Browns +6 to Browns +5, despite more bets and more money being on the Steelers. So something to consider. But for the most part, like these markets are pretty razor thin. The books are pretty much just taking equal action on both sides and going to be happy with the result either way. I think the best result for the books would be a Steelers win by 3. That would be my guess. But even like the OU market, it opened at 47 according to Action Network. It is currently at 47. There's a little bit more bets placed on the over, but the money is essentially even. Yeah, untouchable. Still positive though. I know you were 3-0 yesterday, so. Eric thinks that I will find in some sort of scenario that NBA unders are better than any football trend. Possibly, but I don't know. I'm tracking all the data so I can see if there are any inefficiencies in the market, maybe possibilities down the road, but it's still too early to tell. But it's starting to reach that. I think, what's the sample now for NBA games? I think we're at like 140, somewhere around there. After today, we'll have reached 147 games. So we're starting to get to a point where I might be able to look into things a little bit more. It looks like the Miami-Boston game was postponed today, so I can take that game off the docket. I was on the Clippers today, a surprising big favorite, and they did not cover, so that was a loss. But the Nuggets are up big late, so it's looking like a 1-1 day in the NBA. I can't remember if I made any other plays. Let's take a look. Yeah, I also have the Warriors money line at plus 124. It's come down to plus 120, so a very, very small victory before that game's even played. Yeah, the Boston coach is awesome. I really like the Raptors coach as well, Nick Nurse. But I'm going against Nick Nurse tonight with the Warriors money line. So Denver looks like it's going to be a win. So I'll be down just a small fraction, less than a 0.05 of a unit. And we've got the fat guy joining us now. Hello, fat guy.
Hello.
What is going on?
Not much. What about you?
Just discussing the games today and talking about some NBA betting. You excited for this game?
I am.
There was bets being placed whether you'd show up with Brown's face paint on.
I don't do face paint. I'm not David Putty. I am, but yes, I like. I bet on the Steelers and I booked action on the Browns. So like financially, it's better for me for the Steelers to win. But I just want a good performance from the Browns. Like it's pretty hard for us to, have success in the playoffs. So just we're not there yet. Just give me a good performance.
Some late money coming in on the Browns, but this is a game that I'm going to be leaving alone. I think Mickey was the same way. No bets today in the NFL.
Go ahead. I'm curious how this is going to affect. What was I going to say? I just lost my train of thought. I'm curious how the head coach is going to affect, like the head coach missing and like not even allowed to communicate. Like I don't know. It's just weird. I want to know how that is going to shake down.
How updated are the fantasy playoff numbers?
I'm just putting in the last game now.
Here you go, Dylan. In fact, I can also send you the link.
Which we did send multiple times in the draft.
John Daniels on Pittsburgh -6. Peyote Dreams. Any comments on college football tomorrow? I haven't taken a look at the college football market yet. Eric, he wears Cleveland and bets Pittsburgh. We know the power of the jinx. Brandon George said, I got money on this game. Let's go. How's the line only 5, though? Well, it opened 3.5, so it moved up to 5. So I guess that's the effect of not having your head coach, because there's not much else that changed. Only link I got today was Mickey's
They have no
OnlyFans.
corners. They have two of their starting corners are missing. Cleveland.
So
Kevin Johnson and Denzel Ward.
it's looking like if you are going to make a play in college football, it'd be Ohio State as the contrarian play. Only 8,000 bets on that game so far, but I'm sure it'll get to be a lot more tomorrow.
Dylan, you are in first, and you have 9 active players. So technically, you're doing very, very well. The guys closest to you, Dylan, are myself and Guns and Arrows. Considering we have so many active players, we have just as many active players. I didn't lose anybody. I could tonight, though. I could. Guns and Arrows or myself are going to lose one player. So you have a healthy lead, believe it or not, Dylan.
Dylan, I emailed you the link to the fantasy playoffs, so you can check out that sheet whenever you'd like. Fat guy, who do you have playing tonight? James Conner?
That's it.
And Apurva has Nick Chubb?
Yeah. So one of us is this is a big game for our implications. So a lot of Dylan's players, I think, are weaker, but they're still alive. Like Latavius Murray's a backup. You know what I mean? Gus Edwards. You know, you probably want Dobbins there. Singletary, it's iffy, but mind you, Zach Moss might be injured. Michael Thomas, obviously strong. Drew Brees, strong. So Tyler Bass, great showing. Baltimore defense. So like Ditka has a lot of points so far, but he's lost his 2 running backs. So and he's going to lose 1 receiver between Schuster and Landry. I really like this setup. It's a fun one. So they're doing kind of a collective head coaching thing, it looks like. Joel Bitonio's out? Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, geez.
Yeah, he's been out for... He was ruled out midway through the week.
I didn't know that, though. I thought there was a chance. Oh. Kaderil Hodge, whatever. Johnson Ward, that hurts. Bitonio, that really hurts. Bitonio is one of the best guards in the National Football League. Oh.
Yeah, that's a pretty rare scenario that doesn't happen very often, where teams score touchdowns with no time left on the clock, and then we don't see that.
Yeah,
What's that? The second time that's happened?
I don't recall, but I mean, I was curious how that was going to shake down. That was quite a catch by Jimmy Graham, to be honest.
Eric, if you want to hear our point spread projections, the Fat Guy and I do a video just after this for our YouTube members talking about the opening lines.
And that would be the best way to do it.
Mitchell Trubisky is so bad, according to Ryan Johnson.
It's so weird to see Heinz Field like this.
I do see some resemblance of fans in the far corner, so I don't know what they've got going on here, but it doesn't look like a lot of people at the games. Titans had a pretty good amount of fans, and what a start to this game. Oh, man.
That's a touchdown, Cleveland. What?
And you know what? I'm going to give mad props right now to Mudhole because he had 50-1 Cleveland Browns defense first touchdown. And
no, he didn't. Did he?
Yeah.
Oh!
Congrats, Mud. That's like...
Wow! Mudhole. I don't know what the jinx is, Eric. I don't like, my skin is in both sides of this. Monetarily, it's bad for me if Cleveland covers, but if they win, I'd be fine with that. It's not like a crazy amount of money, like under $1,000, let's say. Wow.
And also, I'm not sure if Otis jumped on it, but he asked him for stuff before the game, and it hit.
I consider a lot of this prop stuff gambling, but wow, that's awesome. That's very un-Steelers like, eh?
Yeah, that doesn't... I can't remember that happening this entire year, and it happens on the first play of a playoff game. Hey, in the league where they play.
Yeah, in the league they play. Fat guy in a little coat. I don't know if I have any left. Oh, I'd probably find a little coat. I can't. What? What is going on? Cleveland's winning a playoff game. Oh my God. When does this happen? I don't know. Mud just made like probably $1,000 on that play, so I don't know how much of a moron he is. That was awesome. I don't know what's cursed. I don't believe in him, Eric. Got to be real here. Dylan, you throw a lot of shade at guys you don't know about, you know?
He's out of touch and he's out of time.
He is. He really is.
DTF story.
Yeah. He is kind of the Perry Caravello of this relationship. What? Cleveland's winning a playoff game. I don't know what's going to happen, but
I don't know. That's Dylan's type.
yeah.
Fear's not even in the fantasy competition, so he
just watched the draft with us. What a play by Connor. Saints did look good today. I got to be real. I took action on the Bears of all teams. So Connor rushing yards is creeping up already here.
Fat guy had Bears against Saints because he's won himself.
Yeah. This linebacking crew is weak, but there is some room to improve. Yeah, Robert Jackson, that rookie, he got thrown to, I believe, 11 times. I'm still mystified what's going on.
Dylan already made a really smart bet with Fat Guy on the Saints Super Bowl.
Sure. You can call it that.
Yeah, Big Nick turns it up for playoff games. And
it's a nice drive by Pittsburgh.
In Fat Guy fashion, we get a fullback dive from 3rd and 1.
From TJ Watt. No, it's Derek Watt. I thought it was TJ Watt for a second here. Forgot they had a third brother. That's an interception by the Browns. What is going on?
So far, it's the Big Ben special. You can't fault him for that first one. This one's the ball just gets away from him, dumping it off.
And the Pittsburgh defense taking the field for the first time, down 7-0. I'm going to grab some pasta salad. That is insane. I can't... What? How?
There you guys go. Some ass crack from the Fat Guy. If Dylan hasn't finished yet, he sure has now. Cleveland's batting Pittsburgh. Crater the McFly beat Biff. It's not something I thought I'd hear tonight. The Steelers were, I had a tough time not turning on and watching the Steelers when Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell were there. It's Fear. He's got a Greek jungle. No, I never made any bets today, Ryan. The everyone spam in chat. We've tried this before with the Fat Guy. Let's spam out spam something out about Greek people in the chat, just so when he comes back he's ultra confused. You're the best Greek saying, joke, reference you can make. Just spam it out in the chat.
Baklava is horrible. You guys don't know what the hell you're talking about. It's nuts and honey and phyllo pastry. You guys are insane.
I don't know. They made some good points.
There's no good points. How do you not baklava? The Romans were second tier. See, the Nazis called it the Third Reich because they were the third. I think we know who the first empire was. They're tough guys. The ones who invented math. I don't want to hear that Arab case for math. Please and thank you.
Also, the stream found out it's a half moon tonight.
So you guys saw my ass, or? I've never made baklava because it takes way too long. Touchdown, Jarvis Landry. What is going on?
You know what's interesting right now is that the Cleveland Browns are going to be going up 14-0 in the first 6 minutes of a playoff game. And this entire season they've done it without Odell Beckham Jr., who is, according to the press, the focal point of the team.
$20 million man.
Landry isn't Greek.
I don't know if you've seen pictures of who they say native Greek people are lately. They don't look like me somehow.
Who won in the AFC? There's
Kansas City.
I don't have the live lineup for this one, but I'm interested to see what it is after this hot start. Browns -5.5 on the live line.
Oh my goodness. I liked Cleveland's chances against Buffalo. Kansas City's a little bit tough.
It is confirmed in the Discord that Mud did very well on the Cleveland Browns DST touchdown to start the game. I guess it was Cleveland defense to touchdown. I thought Zach Galifianakis was the most famous Greek person.
It could be. I don't know who else we got. John Stamos. Jennifer Aniston, Tommy Lee. We got a few. Maria Menounos.
Untouchable dropping some dialect I'm not aware of. Cleveland Isai Vutrios. Vutairos. Sounds like some jibber jabber to me. Zorba, Jimmy the Greek.
Jimmy the Greek. Isn't it changed to Snyder?
Here's a hard-hitting question, fat guy. Is it true that all Greek girls know how to cook lamb?
I would definitely say no. I think my sisters could figure it out, but I don't think they've ever done it. I think I'm the only one who's done it. My dad probably cooks lamb like once a week. I can't believe Cleveland's up 14-0.
We're not even 6 minutes into this game. But that's 14 points off turnovers for the Cleveland Browns.
Is this going to be the most massive, failure?
Oh, that's. I think this has set itself up for an interesting game. Yeah, Euros aren't very good either.
It's not my favorite. They're up 14-0. What? So they had this plan to run at the Browns, and now they're down. Now they're down 14.
I think in the contest we went 2 favorites, right? And it's looking like 0-2 if this continues. That is.
I'm not related to one, Eric. Own lots of restaurants, no diners though.
I'm going to go out on the limb, Dom, and say that this isn't a great start for the Steelers.
Dom, you're just full of acorns. You're a fun one.
Yeah, Tzatziki is pretty low tier, that's for sure.
Man, that's unbelievable. I didn't like that play call either.
That was the exact same play they ran earlier. What do you mean?
The Greek man also invented Hawaiian
pizza? You don't like
pizza.
a fullback dive on 3rd and 1? Get out of here.
Well, the execution of it, not the call. Like it just looked ho-hum. I love a fullback dive. Don't get me wrong. I can't believe what's going on here. Has Cleveland ever been lucky either? I never. This game isn't over though. I'm gonna highly stress that a lot.
I'll be back in a minute.
There's a guy from Ontario. How bad was KC down in that game against Houston? Was it 24-0? And then they not only that is they came back and they covered too, Kansas City. It might have been, yeah. How did they were up 24-0 against and they blew it. But you know what's funny? Do you remember that game? I had a feeling like, oh, the Chiefs aren't out of this. I really had that feeling. And that was in like the first quarter. I'm like, the Chiefs aren't out of this. Whereas like right now, this doesn't make any sense. Like I know there's like what, 1 billion different universes, and in some scenario the Browns are the best team of all time. But in this universe, the Browns are terrible. They've never been lucky. Things are going their way, and they're beating Pittsburgh on the road in a playoff game. I don't know. You want to talk about bizarro world? Bengals Steelers. Well, we know how that always ends, Zaps. Was it last time the Bengals won a playoff game? 1990. A lot of triple games, like teams playing division rivals a third time. Oh my goodness. Everyone's sliding on that slip and slide that is the sideline. I don't know about that, Eric, because winning tonight would encompass winning a Super Bowl. What is going on? It's for what? I honestly thought it was going to be like 17-3, like at the end of the first half for the Steelers, and oh my goodness. The best inside the tackles runner in the NFL, Nick Chubb. Steelers got paid? I don't think so, Don. Think about it. The betting market for this game is $2 million. That's probably less than a lot of these guys' game checks, right? Not 2 million, but like $1 million. And you're going to like pound me in the ass prison if you get caught. The Steelers is just one of those things. Like over a long enough timeline, everyone is average, and I mean, sometimes the Browns have to get lucky. What is going on? Are they messing the graphic up for Cleveland's offense? Yeah, they already did. That's so funny.
Every time I look in the mirror, all I see is Penny Marshall.
Oh my God.
Like 2021 Penny Marshall too, not
cool. This Browns O-line is boss. 2 Pro Bowlers, Zaps. Three Pro Bowlers on the Browns O-line, and a rookie, and J.C. Treader, who's a veteran. Pretty solid, because Wyatt Teller and Bitonio made second team. Jack Conklin made all pro. And like Jedrick Wills is obviously going to get better. It's close to the best offensive line in football, Cleveland. Which is funny because they had close to the best offensive line about 9 years ago, and they weren't able to do anything with that, which was really, really unfortunate. And a reasonable defense. Well, he's a halfer, Mud. He's a halfer. But yes, he's our best athlete. And congratulations, by the way. I'm not sure OBJ has a wife. He might have a gentleman caller, perhaps, but that's a touchdown. Unbelievable. I did mention Tommy Lee Mudd. I did. What is going on? It's 21. It's 20 nothing.
It turns out Stefanski was just holding this team back this entire season.
Yeah, yeah. What is going on?
This has been a very I don't know. I don't want to be too like hyperbolic here, but this has been an okay start for the Cleveland Browns.
It's 21 nothing. 10 minutes into this game.
The live line is Steelers plus 11.5. So money line wise, that would be like, I don't know, plus 400, something around that. So they're still
5 to 1.
Yeah, plus 420 is what the live line is. So
Yeah.
they're still,
23%.
Not quite, like 15
That's
to
what?
20%, somewhere in that range.
What's going on? That James Conner prop is looking better now. Mud. It's still not the same as who was it? The Frank Reich and the Bills coming back against the Tennessee Oilers in what 1992, 91. That's the greatest one, but this, I don't know. I can't believe what's going on. 28-3 was another good one, though. I think we all remember that Super Bowl. Yeah, that's been circulating the news. I'll just wait till it happens. Yeah, I remember that game, Mud. That was really unfortunate. All of the Chiefs running backs were injured pretty much. Like there was concussions and stuff like that, like during the game. So they had to run a tight end. I think it was like a Asante Cleveland at running back. It was really bad. And it really, really curbed Kansas City's chances of closing that game out. We were having money on the Chiefs then. And I had a Chiefs future, I'm sure. Yeah, it was weird. Yeah, because Charles had a concussion. Charles is the best running back I've witnessed with my two eyes. Jamal Charles, like live. Point in case he is the highest yards per carry of all time, even ahead of Jim Brown, my guy. I'm surprised that they're not just going 4 wide and chucking here.
Game's definitely not over if they don't score here. There's still so many possessions left in this game.
It's an interesting argument, Beard. It's just not a good one, unfortunately. What a play by Chase Claypool. It could be another volume of Only in Cleveland, but I'm going to watch it and I'm going to see. Well, Eric, you can always bet it yourself. That's the one beautiful thing about these markets is that they're open to all. Well, there's plenty of books, there's websites, everything. Oh man, that would have been a first down for Smith-Schuster. What is going on today? Don't celebrate. You guys haven't won anything yet. You haven't won anything yet. Holy.
That's pretty common for turnovers.
I know, but you're still Cleveland. You're still Cleveland.
You're going to be able to get better than 4-1 odds if the Browns put up points here.
I'm not wearing face paint. I'm not David Putty. I'm not doing that.
I
might get a different hat.
Here. I think he should go face paint next week.
No, I don't do that kind of thing. What is going on? It doesn't even matter if they don't like. What? They're in the red zone? They're up. This doesn't make any sense. What is going on? This is a big game.
The best thing is if this happened the opposite, like everyone would just be sitting here going like, yeah, that's
standard.
That's standard.
Yeah, but we're witnessing a unicorn, Big Rye. This does never happen. They haven't been relevant in the playoffs since like 1988, 89. Like when they made the AFC Championship 3 times in a row and blew it. That's a touchdown.
What a run. That was really good from Kareem Hunt.
It is the Black Swan, Mudhole. It is.
Hunt's really good to have right now, Mickey.
Yeah.
Especially since they're likely to play a second game.
I'm gonna go check out my chicken. I can't. What is going on?
He's going to blow Mr. Fuse. You think Stefanski even watches the rest of this game? He might just turn this off, start planning for next week. Let's see what the live line is now. The live line for the Steelers to come back is plus 890. Browns are minus 1,500 to win. Yep. Well, if Cleveland plays Kansas City, that's going to be a probably a pretty nice line for Kansas City. But who knows? People might feel a little bit differently if the Browns win 42-0, or 49-21. There might be some public bettors on Cleveland if they keep playing like this. We're all witnessing it. This has been like a flawless game so far for Cleveland. 28 points in the first quarter. Live lines up to plus 982 for the Steelers.
982.
Mm-hmm.
So 4-1 would have been a bum line.
I don't know what the chances are of outscoring a team 98 or 28-0 in a quarter just this entire year. I don't know if it's happened.
I don't think it has.
Well, I have to imagine Cleveland hit the over on their point total. I don't know how James Conner didn't fall on that that original fumble. Saravuth, what's going on? He said Pittsburgh is barbecue now.
I mean, barbecue chicken. It's good. What a play by Big Ben. Wow.
It's coming back on the penalty. Sounds like one of the linemen was too far down the field.
Eric, 2 seconds ago you said, mark my words.
Well, also, like they could still come back. It's just not likely.
It's a low chance, yeah. Now you're just trolling, Eric. High-profile receivers. This is one of the deepest wide receiver rooms in the NFL. Their fourth receiver is James Washington. Second-round pick out of OSU. Ebron at tight end. This is a stacked crew.
Steelers plus 998 on the live line. Well, there's always a chance that they can come back. So you can never say there's no way. And then covering the 6-point spread is going to be difficult because what is it? It's 28 points right now. So 34. That's what? 5 touchdowns. So there's definitely going to be more than 5 possessions in this game. So it could happen. They're not mathematically done. It's just unlikely. According to the odds makers right now, it's like a 8% chance that the Steelers come back and win. Cleveland's minus 1,700. It's a day of celebration for Dylan.
I can't. What is going on?
I'll be back.
It's being results based on. I mean, like Steelers would have had a better chance of being this far up. You know, it's still less than 1% on both ends, right? We're just seeing a really radical result. It happens in sports. That's why we watch it. That's why the game's played. This is incredible, though. I'm just mystified because I've never seen it. I've always wanted Cleveland to do well, and it's just always been just hot garbage. Pittsburgh doesn't have to do anything. They're just gonna they have to score more points at Cleveland. That's it. Positing theories about what could or couldn't happen doesn't help. That's if they want to win, right? Well, you flip flop pretty easy, Eric. So let me know when the Steelers aren't going to come back. Steelers look frustrated on that. Well, at least Juju Smith-Schuster looked frustrated. First down, Eric Ebron. Richardson dropped off there.
Hasn't Roethlisberger had games where he's thrown for like 6 touchdowns?
For 6 touchdowns? Yeah.
So it's definitely possible. It's not.
Yeah,
like
but it would have been like I honestly think Ben could throw for 500 yards tonight because it would make sense.
Oh, he's
right?
gonna have to.
He's gonna have to, right? Like they're gonna keep trying. He's likely to have 1 or 2 more interceptions. Yeah, Zaps. Now the Browns will have too much clout. Yeah,
Yep,
and then
totally.
we could just bang the Chiefs.
Yeah, and we could bet him too.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like a good example about overreactions is look at this chat. Everyone, the eye test for Cleveland is unbelievable. So let's say the Steelers were playing next week. You would make just about any team a favorite. When in reality, the Steelers are still better than the Browns, despite this result. Emotional betting will never be profitable in the long run. Never. No, I think Eric, it's just a small percentage. I'll tell you what, if it goes to 35-0, I'll take the Steelers if you give me 10,000 to 1. See what I mean? I'll bet $1, you put up 10,000. I want it in escrow though. See, so there's always a chance, right? It's not the same as like when the Bears were driving with 40 seconds left, down 21-3 or whatever. That was mathematically over. This isn't. Wow. Ebron with a drop. It's a 4-down territory anyway, so like you can't punt. You can't it's just there's 2 downs here. Kick a field goal, what does that do? It would be so Cleveland, Mickey. I'll give you that. Wobbly duck, they called that pass. That's the first time I've seen shade. Al Michaels throwing to Ben Roethlisberger. Perhaps there's a little bit. Momentum doesn't really exist, I don't think, Eric. There's no momentum gain from 3 points here. What are they? They're punting? Oh my goodness! What are you
To me,
doing?
this seems like a game where punts and field goals are kind of out the window now.
This is insanely bad. And
38.
What are you doing? This is insane. Like, what's the net gain on that? Like 20-something yards? That's telling me you don't want to win this game if you do stuff like that. I mean, I chastised the decision when Tennessee did this in their second last possession. But I mean, that's just ridiculous.
Well, they could have even had Roethlisberger just throw it 30 yards down the field and At least, like a mini
or,
Hail Mary.
or chuck it in the end zone. What, like, do you know what I mean? I don't.
Well, I don't even think field goals help him at this point.
Yeah, it doesn't at all. That's what I was getting at. My phone is blowing up with people about this game.
Pittsburgh 12-1 on the live line.
Yeah, I'm getting like congratulations and bewilderment, which I don't know. I mean, it's just a football game, but like, what is going on? I'm gonna grab more chicken. I don't know what's going on.
It's unfair to put Josh Rosen in there. like they really have to do that to him. Don, this game has nothing to do with Ohio State. Oh, if Cleveland loses, this is a choke for sure. They're minus 2,500 on the live line. Drop from Higgins.
You know, I will say this though. My idea of Cleveland winning a playoff game has nothing to do with Baker Mayfield, and looks like that's happening.
If I'm not mistaken, this is going to be the best field position that the Steelers have started with. You know who is elite, though, Josh, is Baker's publicist.
Yo, for sure.
Well, Atlanta was up 28-3, but there was less time left.
Way less.
So it's not quite there yet.
And Pittsburgh still has to come back.
I agree with Dylan here. Fat guy thinks Bucks are elite, but he's losing all his players next week.
I don't actually like the Bucks, to be honest. I don't. Which is the thing about strategy is that you don't always end up taking things that you like, because my opinion doesn't matter. What mathematically is plausible matters. Don't forget, my first overall draft pick, Dylan, was Alvin Kamara. And even if I had the first pick, I would have taken Alvin Kamara as well.
I feel like Eric and Dylan should make a wager. What do you guys want to roll?
Yeah. Loser has to sleep on their tummy for 2 weeks.
Then Dylan would lose on purpose.
He'll be behind the couch.
I've got a line in my head, Mud, but I'm going to be saving it for our opening line video. I don't think Dylan's old enough to gamble.
What about Posing and Holt?
Yeah, Juju should make a TikTok at halftime to boost the mojo. I said it earlier, Untouchable. I'm like, Stefanski might as well turn this game off and just start planning for next week.
Well, I mean, it can't hurt, you know? Oh!
What a play.
Porter Gustin.
I don't even know who that is.
Me neither. That was unbelievable. Wow. No, you cannot fear. I heard some of your Greek comments, and I'm the gatekeeper, so the answer is no. And I've waited a really long time for this, just so you know. What is going on?
That's possible, Mud.
Yeah, Mud's got a good point. They haven't done it in a while. This guy is so good, man. This guy is so good.
It's
Who is?
the only Browns draft lick I audibly said yes to when they made it.
No, I was happy about the first round pick this year. Dylan doesn't know who Owen Wilson is. Another person I really don't care for, Owen Wilson. I don't mind Luke, though. What is going on? Fear, that's the plan. Honestly, I wouldn't be passing. I would maybe do like a 20% PA, 80% just run. What's the difference? You know what I mean? Oh yeah, this is what you don't need. And he look at his. You know what? Don't let Jack Conklin play the rest of the game.
I think it's his right hamstring.
I thought it was his right ankle, but
Nah,
that leg looks stiff.
He was
clutching
his
it?
hamstring.
Sub him out. Put the next guy in. I don't know who the hell that is. Don't lose Jack Conklin, please.
They're already down Batonio and him, so, and I believe they were down whoever the backup was playing that, so they're down 3 linemen at this moment.
Dude, play a tight end at tackle. I don't care. I think this is against Cleveland. Well, the Browns just have a low chance of beating Kansas City, Jimmy. That's just how things work, right? Don't forget, Oakland smoked Kansas City on the road. So, like, really anything's possible. Well, the reason, Don,
Kendall Lamb is the backup right tackle.
The reason, Don, that coaches are so calm in this type of situation is because if they panic and the team panics, it looks really bad. So what you do is you stay the ship. You just try and pick away at the lead, and that's what you do. It's not like the players expect to win, right? Oh, we went with chicken today. What the hell is going on? It's 28-0. I just want to go to bed with a good memory. I might just leave the broadcast. You know what I mean? Like, and not witness anything after this. What do you think the spread should be, Dylan? Chiefs minus 6.5. I don't think that's enough. We got the cool video game crew in. I don't get the humor, I guess. Wrong there, Dylan. They keep panning to like to Cleveland's bench, the head coach, and I'm like who is that guy? Like what? Why did you, Dylan? You haven't answered our question first. Who's Roland Walton? That's what we want to know.
Jimmy calling for a second half Pittsburgh comeback. Fear thinks it's Mickey.
How am I supposed to know? All right. Seems nobody has ever said that about about an actual person. Seems like a real person to me. Dylan, I believe you'd fold under questioning here, pal. Nobody committed a crime with Dylan. He's not going to last very long, I can promise you that. Hey, Dylan, I have a phone. I have a computer. I have a tablet. I have other computers. You can't do two at once? Oh, that's really going to... Oh, you did it, Sherlock Holmes. You figured it out. You cracked the case. No one's ever used two devices at once. The mask has been revealed. Yeah, how are they chatting at the same time? Oh, and you could never switch over, never click the icon and switch over. I don't know, Dylan. Call it a hunch. Why didn't you parlay it then, Don?
How many Greeks does it take to screw in a light bulb?
The answer is there could never be enough because they're too fucking stupid. If you're gonna steal Norm Macdonald's bits, better come with something better than that. That's a bad wax sculpture of Mario Lemieux. Oh, the spelling of hypnotized is interesting there, Roland. The way you spell hypnotized doesn't sound like the former CEO of Tim Hortons. Uzbekistan, all right. When does this become 4-down territory if you don't get this?
Halfway through the first quarter.
Yeah.
Especially like right now, I could understand. Like if they're inside their own 20, I can understand punting. But when you're on the other team's 39-yard line, down 28, you can't be punting.
On your own 20, I still don't get it.
Well, like if it's, I'm talking like if it's 4th and 15 and they're on their own 20, I could see
Maybe.
them punting.
Yeah, maybe.
It's one of those things where it's like, for the most part, if you're thinking about it, you should probably do it.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Do you think the Steelers are going to win this game, Dylan? Put your money where your mouth is, tough guy. Calling you out. Here, I'll give you 5-1. You put up 100. I'll put up 500. There you go. You got attention. I'm giving it to you. Here, I got 500 right here. It's Canadian. So we'll call it 6. Okay. The Magic of Cleveland. Which two guys star in that one? Nothing. That was one of my better jokes today.
No, I've seen it. I know the guys. I didn't want to spoil it.
Did they save the tire factory? Dude, I like the hype from James Washington. That's how you got to be. That just sounds like cowardice, Dylan. See, you're not a man of your convictions. So, all right, we all know that anyways. That was a nice pass. You are in first in fantasy. There's no denying that. Maybe you win fantasy and you lose your bet. And then we're just even, me and you, Dylan. Browns shouldn't engage here. You gotta, you have a game to play. Like, you're in the lead. Don't be Ernest Biner. Mickey, you remember what year Ernest Biner, the fumble, was? 89, 1990? '88. Oh, was that? It was that late or early, rather. That's got to be one of the most hurtful things. Like, to carry that with you for so long, that would just be horrible. Is that so? Ernest Biner is Cleveland's Buckner, then, right?
That's how this whole game's gone, Fear. So far, pretty much every break has gone Cleveland's way.
I don't think Tomlin can be more highly revered than he is, to be honest. Don't forget, this performance is not quite as bad, but it's similar to Baltimore last year against Tennessee. Just getting outplayed and nothing going their way. Connor's open.
When we come back after the 2-minute warning, it's going to be 4th and 1 for the Steelers.
A lot of their win probability hangs on this play. which is kind of the beauty of football, really, is it's designed to create excitement through necessity, through urgency, right? And at different points of the game. So this is the biggest play for Pittsburgh right now of the game so far. That'll change if they get it. Well, I told you guys to put your money where your mouth is, but I never seem to get a good response. Wow. Got to be interesting. Like, imagine you're Kevin Stefanski. You can't actually talk to anybody. So you're just literally sitting at home, like, gleefully surprised, to be honest. But you're right. Like, maybe you should take this time and just start working on Kansas City, because it can't hurt. And realistically, he should have been doing that, like, from the start of the game, in theory. Why'd they throw a pass on third down there, considering it was a 2-minute warning anyways?
They just tried to get a play off before.
I think he got it in the second effort. That was it. That was really sloppy.
We have
from the get-go, though.
Two very different spots here.
From both referees.
One guy has it as a first down. The other guy does not.
Looks like they're giving it to him. All right. Just run a running play. Like what?
I don't get why the clock stopped.
All right. Connor touchdown.
Now, did the Steelers go for 2?
That might be the way to go, right? Yeah, INT loading. They're probably not gonna throw the ball, Dylan. Like, why would you, especially when running's working so well? I don't remember the last time Cleveland played Kansas City. That's a good question. Mind you, how'd they play? They played the Raiders, but not Kansas City this year, Big Right? Did Cleveland play the Broncos or the Chargers? No. Huh, that was a weird one then. Like one of those like
They played in
ones where they don't play an opposing division or a division rival.
They played in 2018 was their last game. Kansas City won 37-21, but obviously both teams are very different from 2018.
That's a good return too.
Welcome to Chad Harry, who says the Browns are doomed. Just watch. Conklin headed to the back. Kendall Lamb in at right tackle. Another thing of note is that the Cleveland Browns are going to start with the ball in the second half. Saints will probably be favored. I'm not sure how Dylan feels about the Bucks playing the Saints.
As much as I don't like him, I don't want him to get hurt.
I'm confused this year about spotting the ball and measurements and how that works. Like the guy had his foot down. He hadn't even put the ball down. And he's already signaling for first down when the ball's like essentially right on the line.
Well, tide's been going to the runner increasingly.
Yeah. Up close and personal with the fat guy, Harry, that's for sure.
And Chubb is such a boss.
Yeah, Hunt's pretty fresh. He's not used to playing a reduced role like he does in this offense, so he's looking really good.
Yeah, I agree, Beard. Holy factory of sadness. I got to mute myself for 1 minute. It's something important that just happened.
What was that, fat guy?
Something important just happened. I just got to
I'm just
do
kidding.
a quick
I'm
phone
fucking
call, so I'm
with
going to
you.
mute myself.
It might be fat guy might be pregnant. Live line is 21.5. I don't think Watson's not a free agent, is he? Well, it doesn't look like Spot Track is working right now, but I don't think I've ever heard any rumors like that come true. So once you start hearing about stuff, it usually doesn't happen. Dylan thinks the Washington football team will sign Kaepernick. Is it just me, or does it look like Fat Guy is trying to order himself a birthday cake? I think that would be a very important call if I had to take one too. Yeah, I just saw him mutter the words, butter my crust. Have a good night, Eric. Now he's contemplating all the different topics, all the different toppings he could get on that pizza. Only one timeout left for the Steelers. Going to have to use their timeout here. Still 10 seconds left, so still a possibility for two plays, either to the end zone or to the sidelines. I'm not sure if they could run a play in 10 seconds to get the ball into the end zone and then have another opportunity like within those 10 seconds.
All good now. You hear me?
I can hear you now, Fat Guy.
Good.
Everyone's taking bets on the call. Some people think I thought you were ordering a birthday cake. Some others think you're ordering pizza. I saw you mutter the words buttered crust, so could be interesting.
I'll be honest, there's a limit to outgoing and incoming e-transfers. I didn't know this.
Yeah, I think there's a limit of 1,000 per day.
It's a lot. Yeah, but it was over 30 days. It's 30,000.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It didn't even show the clock move there, but there's no way that
was
clock
a sick
moved
play.
1
2
second.
second.
It went
thought it
from
was
10
11.
down to 9. How is that possible? This has to be just like a miscue on the graphic we're seeing.
Yeah, 1 second. Oh, okay. They're correcting it. Boswell, look how thin his face looked. He looks like a Who from the live action movie, which I really have disdain for.
58% to make a 49-yard field goal.
That looks good. So cutting the Cleveland Browns lead to 25 in the playoffs.
I'll be back.
Packers overrated. Everyone's overrated. No one's a match for the Saints. Do you really think the Saints are big favorites against the Chiefs, despite losing to them as well and having a worse regular season? I still think Russell Wilson's the best player in the league, Dylan. I really do. I wish I had some drugs. It'd be a lot more fun with you yelling in my ear, Dylan. Are you calling the Rams a bad defense? You're out of your mind. Lamar Jackson's better than Patrick Mahomes. I thought Drew Brees was the best player in the league. At least you're polarizing. So Lamar Jackson's a QB too, though, Dylan. So that's contradictory. That doesn't make any sense. Go play Madden, Dylan. Cleveland is up in a playoff game. Again, on the road against the Steelers. Bakhtiari is out for the playoffs, right, Mickey? I kind of agree with Mickey. It's he's closer to Chad Pennington. I thought Pennington was great, but it's tough. It's tough to keep that sustained athleticism. Good night, football fans. They're showing the highlights of the Ravens game, Ravens Titans games. Man, Henry was so close on a couple instances to completely busting one, but getting tripped up. That dump off to Murray was so good. AP Indy's got an interesting thought here that Rams +7 at GB is indicative that Aaron Donald isn't playing after picking up an injury on the road in Seattle in this past playoff victory. I'll probably side with the Rams, to be honest. Aaron Donald is such a good athlete and strong athlete that it's hard. Like, he's in such good shape that it's hard for me to think of a way where he's not going to at least give it a try. The one thing though is Green Bay has been running scores up. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's one of those things like where I almost prefer Rams money line. Do you know what I mean? Rams keep things close just by the way they play. So I don't know. Oh, Jamie, hello, sir. Chiefs versus Rams Super Bowl. That I would like that. I got to be honest. That would be maybe the most entertaining game I can think of. I would like Browns Rams, believe it or not. I mean, it's not very likely. Yeah. Ravens Rams would be good. Yeah, I like all those. Saints have a tough game here. Saints have a tough game against Green Bay as well. It would be a revenge game, though. Jay's got Bills pack Super Bowl. I'll be honest, I really don't care for the Bills. Maybe I am anchoring a little bit, but I really didn't like them their performance yesterday, and just like it just didn't seem polished like a lot of the situational stuff. Like they're just really scrambling and chucking it. And I think Josh Allen's an unbelievable talent, but it's just I don't know if that's enough at this level. You know, because like teams like the Chiefs are the best team in the league. They're such a well-oiled machine, right? It's tough. The Packers are a well-oiled machine. I mean, it's tough. Josh Allen, the football player, is I don't see how he doesn't become one of the best players in the league, if not the best in the next coming years. So, like, his trajectory is insane. Yeah, Bills absolutely have a game breaker because he's a dual threat. Just as he's a better runner than Mahomes, I would say. Arm strength is similar. He doesn't have the same. He's not as accurate, I would say, as Mahomes, and not quite as dynamic in as far as like passing angles and mechanics and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, how much value added is that really? So it's I don't know. Allen's kind of getting there. It's impressive, and think about there's got to be a lot of effort into it. Like perhaps because I'm trying to think of his comparison would be, I mean, Baker Mayfield was taken over him in the draft, right? And Mayfield isn't even close. He's weaker in just about every area. I can't think of an area Baker Mayfield is stronger than Josh Allen. Baker can sling it and can throw real deep, but I can't think of an advantage where Baker has over Josh Allen. I can't think of one. I had an idea, Big Rye.
Yeah.
Is there any quarterback metric that Baker Mayfield is better than Josh Allen at this current time?
Well, what I just found out from a graphic is that he has more career touchdowns than Josh Allen, passing touchdowns.
Okay.
But let's take a look at
Short pass accuracy. Like I can't think of.
well, he definitely beats him in commercials. He's got way more commercials.
You don't know what the what Buffalo City mattress how often they use Josh Allen's services. You're not a local.
Well, Josh Allen finished 5th in NEA, and Baker Mayfield finished 12th, which it's actually a lot higher than I would think for Mayfield. And you know, Mayfield didn't have a bad season at all.
No.
And you know, he won 11 games. You know, people are talking like I don't know how many people out there are talking about it, but I'm definitely talking about Josh Allen for MVP. And there was definitely not any thought in my mind about Baker Mayfield MVP. So
no, never.
There's a
never.
pretty
Not
clear,
even a second.
There's a pretty clear gap between the two. Mayfield threw for less interceptions this year, 8 compared to Josh Allen's 10.
Yeah.
You know, Allen had 37 touchdowns compared to Mayfield's 26. But Josh Allen was just consistently better than Mayfield throughout the season.
But I'm talking about effort because in terms of where they started, it's arguable that Mayfield was a better prospect as far as like ready to enter the NFL. I'm just saying it's miles apart from where they are now.
Yeah, Mayfield was obviously the guy selected higher. And his career NEA is 6.3. Let's take a look at Josh Allen's career NEA. It's 6.26. So their careers have been very, very similar, but Josh Allen was definitely trending up as far as Mayfield's trending up too, but Josh Allen is, you know, he had an MVP-like season. So who knows if it's just a standalone, he just played really well this season, or if he can continue it. And you have to remember, like, Mayfield's rookie season was actually really, really strong.
Yes, it was.
And Josh Allen's rookie season was definitely
weak.
not as strong. So he's made up for it this year. You know, his NEA almost doubled from his rookie season. But Josh Allen, 28-15 as a starter. Excellent over first 3 years of your career. Let's take a look at Baker Mayfield's career. He's 23-22, so
Really sounds like Collingsworth is on the Steelers.
Collingsworth's pretty public, and the Steelers are definitely the more public of these two teams.
Yeah.
So I feel like he's going to be. His analysis is usually going to favor whichever team is more popular. Where did Collingsworth play, or who did he play for?
Cincinnati.
Okay.
He was good. He was a wide receiver. Free play.
For these playoff games, like even as an announcer, you're probably hoping for a close game. It kind of sucks when games are like this because it's just it's not 5-star entertainment, let's say that.
Mickey, he was a Gator.
There it is, Otis. Let me just update just to make sure. No problem.
I wonder if this is a hold on Cleveland.
I don't think the Browns were lined up properly. Their bottom 3 guys.
Surprised about Seattle? I mean, only slightly. I just thought the line was weird for a backup quarterback.
I was surprised.
Just run it twice with Chubb. I don't even know why you're fooling with passing the ball. I wonder if this game is going to give Alex Van Pelt, or Scott Van Pelt, Alex Van Pelt, the
Alex, yeah.
yeah, the O coordinator, like street cred. You know what I mean? For one of these opening coaching positions, even though it's like such a leap because it's just like one freaky game.
He's calling plays. I don't think he's the acting head coach.
No, he's not. He's calling plays.
They were talking about it being one of the special teams.
Yeah, it's Mike Pfeiffer or Pfeiffer. I don't know, Pfeiffer. Yeah, I think I read about that, Mickey.
$25-point lead is
punter.
the most dangerous lead in all of the NFL playoff history. I'm just eating some crab fries.
You have crabs, Big Rye?
No, I'm eating crab fries.
Oh.
No, I've got some chicken and rice. No, for sure, Fear. It's been a good day at the Untouchable household.
Yes.
Cream. Bologna and cereal at the household. Fat guy's big into the Wu-Tang.
What, the Masters of Shaolin? The Cream?
Mm-hmm.
I don't love anyone, Dylan. He's a man. At least I'm a man of my convictions, Dylan. I put my money where my fat mouth is. You, on the other hand, are cowardly. That's so funny. I don't know. I don't think I listened to Wu-Tang that one summer. Man, I'm just realizing how impossible dunking would be right now for me, and how easy it was that one summer. Yeah, fat grows on you fast. How long ago? That was 15 years ago.
Do you think you could have beat Joe Pesci in a basketball game?
I think so. Then.
Yeah, back then.
I was a bad basketball player. I was, but when we were 17, I was the only guy who could. Yeah, that's why we did so well at Hoop It Up. I could dunk. Think about how unathletic Canada is. You can find a kid anywhere in the States, like just playing outdoor ball that can dunk. I was dirty too. Elbows and knees sticking out when people went by. Hoop It Up's a tournament in Vancouver, a 3-on-3 tournament. So,
well,
I was only 185 pounds.
Hoop It Up was everywhere. It wasn't just
a local
tournament. Yeah,
I thought it was just in Vancouver.
No, they held it everywhere.
Oh, really? That makes it way cooler. There's no way, man. I can't imagine. We would have got destroyed if we played people in the States.
Well, I always like to tell the story about when I played basketball and soccer growing up, and when we were young. Fat guy and I lived like right on the Canadian-U.S. border, and we hosted a soccer team to come play us, and we beat them it was like 19-0 in soccer.
Oh yeah,
we absolutely destroyed them, and then later that night we decided to play some 2-on-2 basketball with these guys that we just killed in soccer, and they absolutely annihilated us. Yeah. It just shows you how it wasn't the athleticism in soccer. It was just literal skill difference between the two sports. That was a big difference.
I remember playing soccer against American teams and winning by double digits. Even the good ones from California, I remember smashing those teams. But I mean, in anything else, they're so much better than us. Big Country.
Big Country definitely played.
Big Country has stared into my eyes at least 50 times. I used to root against the Grizzlies, but I went to a lot of games, and I would yell at him I'd yell brick when he was taking a free throw when I was like 8 or 9. And I usually got good seats because nobody went to the games. So if you lived in a neighborhood where guys had like, corporate jobs, they always had spare tickets as long as they weren't playing like the Bulls or something. So I saw a lot of like Indiana Pacers and stuff like that. That became my favorite team, the Pacers. But yeah, I used to rip on Big Country all the time, and I'd only be like 4 rows away, and I'd be the loudest kid. So I used to go with my mom. Those are great. I miss those. Those are the best sporting events I went to, and they would get killed almost every game, and I still didn't mind.
Yeah, they lost by double digits almost every game.
Almost every game, yeah.
Fat guy's favorite player, definitely Detlef Shrimp.
Oh, Detlef, absolutely. They were bad, but you still got an opportunity to see, like, athletes that you saw on television, like, and it was cheap.
You really
the
got
games
to
were
see them
so cheap.
take it easy. That's what you got to see.
Well, whatever. I
Players
got to
came
see it. I was
Vancouver.
9. I was 8 years old. It was a magical time. Driving to the big city. What a touchdown pass to Eric Ebron. Who is our best player? Sharif Abdurrahim.
Sharif Abdurrahim was the best scorer. They had Mike Bibby as well. Blue
Eric
Edward,
Dickerson.
It was it Eric? For some reason, I don't think it was Eric.
No, Eric Dickerson's the running back
Yeah.
for the Rams and the Colts.
Michael Dickerson.
Michael Dickerson.
Um,
We had Steve Francis for about 5 minutes.
well, I love that Steve Francis getting drafted because he said I'm not going to play in Vancouver, and they went, oh well, we'll draft you anyways. And even after he came, even like because he made like a visit here, I think before he got drafted, he's like, nah, I'll never play here. I'm never going to live here. And he got drafted.
He prefers China.
Yeah. Well, now he prefers money. That's really what it comes down to.
Have you seen him lately?
I saw him like 10 years ago, and it wasn't good. So I can only imagine what he's like now.
Oh, it's not good. He's withering away.
The
what did he get traded for? Because Houston traded for him, right?
I'll pull up. Vancouver received Antoine Carr, Michael Dickerson, Othello Harrington, Brent Price, and a 2003 first-round pick who they used to select Marcus Banks.
This doesn't sound good.
Well, Othello Harrington became a starter. Michael Dickerson was a starter. I remember the Grizzlies had they were like the only team in history to have the same 5 guys start all 82 games, and they were still terrible. What I found interesting, if you look up the Grizzlies, there was only like I think there was only like 50 players that ever played for the Vancouver Grizzlies. It's like a pretty low list. 62 players.
I bet
Big
Huh.
Country, Sharif
How many
Abdur-Rahim.
seasons do the Grizzlies?
5. He's either 5 or 6.
Yeah, I was gonna say 5.
Here's a name. Here's a throwback
Rockets won
name.
back to back. Beard, right?
Here's a throwback
Oh.
name. Pete Chilcutt, who played 182
Yeah,
games.
yeah.
Lee Mayberry, Tony Massenberg, Michael Dickerson, Greg Anthony, Othello Harrington, George Lynch, Felipe Lopez, crowd favorite Felipe Lopez, might I add. Lawrence Moden, Grant Long played. Cherokee Parks, a fat guy favorite.
What's that?
I said Cherokee Parks, the fat guy's favorite.
Yeah.
Anthony Peeler, Michael Smith, Sam Mack. We're starting to get really low. Doug West, Eric Mobley,
I don't know these.
Chris Robinson, Brent Price, Rich Manning, Roy Rogers,
Oh, really? Big Rye.
Byron Scott played 80 games.
Did he
Stromile
really?
Swift. Yeah, I remember he.
Stormile Swift. Yeah.
Byron Scott went to school with my cousin.
Oh, really?
The Stromile
There's a
Swift.
riffraff line about Stormile Swift.
Stromile Swift was an interesting. Dang. Stromile Swift 2012 criminal case where he was found guilty of stalking and sending threatening messages to a female.
That's unfortunate.
Antonio Daniels, who went on to have success later on. Maybe my personal favorite Vancouver Grizzly is Damon Jones. One of the best trash talkers of all time, I found out as a very young child. Dennis Scott as well. Otis Thorpe. I would have guessed Otis Thorpe played more than 47 games for the Grizzlies.
It felt like it.
One of the greatest players you've never heard of, Muhammad Abdul Rauf.
What a play.
He's mostly remembered today for refusing to stand during the American national anthem before games. But
I guess he's the first guy.
He was an excellent scorer.
Here we go, though. Back to the football game. Cleveland's going to be punting to Pittsburgh. Getting a bit chippy. They have to keep their eyes on the prize here. I wonder if Cameron Sutton, number 20, is related to Cortland Sutton. Wide receiver, star wide receiver, I would call him, of the Denver Broncos.
Sorry to keep bringing it off football, but Moochie Norris also played 8 games for the Vancouver Grizzlies, apparently. So an interesting crew. Sharif Abdur-Rahim was interesting because he was the best scorer, but I remember his career high was like 33 points or something. Like you're the leading scorer on a team. I think it was 39. Let me see if I can.
You know what's interesting, though, is like, think about it this way. The Las Vegas Knights and the Vancouver Grizzlies are the exact opposite in how they were treated in their entries into the league. Like, the Grizzlies really weren't given a chance, whereas the Vegas Knights were afforded an opportunity to compete, and they went on a very great underdog run. Oh my goodness. Did you just see this commercial?
What, this police department one?
Yeah, where they literally threw money in the toilet. That's like, whose job is it to pull the money back out of the toilet?
I don't know. But Pittsburgh's plus 450 to come back in this game. So
Wow, odds have shifted.
all that Vancouver Grizzly talk really took the steam out of the viewership.
Oh, did it? No, I was gonna say you killed by talking about the failed Vancouver Grizzlies. You killed Cleveland's momentum.
Yeah, I don't know a lot about Grievous Vasquez fear, but I do know a lot about Moochie Norris. Moochie Norris had some of the best hair in the game.
Upstairs or downstairs?
Oh, downstairs for sure. A lot of people don't know that about him.
Hey, you guys got to get a move on here in Pittsburgh if you want to compete. That was so close to an interception.
It looks like Moochie Norris might be a part of like the Houston Rockets coaching staff.
What a play.
He's the head coach of the Houston Push of TBL. What's that? Oh, minor league. Oh, good for him.
I bet wise, well, I took more money in bets than I bet myself, and I took a lot of action on Cleveland, believe it or not. So, well, not a lot. I took some action on Cleveland, which is going to make me a really small loser for the weekend, which I'm okay with. Oh, maybe not. I don't know. I'd have to look yesterday. It's within $200 either way of being a winner or loser, so it's really close. Nice ball security from Smith-Schuster. People took the Ravens today, and I charged minus 115, so their wins aren't as big, so it's not I have to look at it again. Oh, man, Claypool misread the situation. I don't want them to throw to put them away, Beard. You have one of the best run games in the NFL. Run to put them away. Throwing to put them away is terrible. Terrible idea. And if they're not able to run, then it is what it is. No, I offer both sides, Otis. Just it's usually lopsided. It's not like a massive customer base. Some poker guys. Some of them bet bigger though than you'd think.
That was actually really close to being a completion to Claypool.
Yeah, 2 in a row they could have possibly got a touchdown to Claypool. Wow, Schuster. They're going to have to play with a little more impetus, this defense. The Browns are playing soft right now.
I will
Through
say
the
this on
hands
these
of Vance
scoring
McDonald.
on these scoring drives, though, they have been making them use clock. Like, I think it was a 6-minute scoring drive earlier for Pittsburgh. So, like, these drives can't be this long if the Steelers do want to come back.
Oh, a lot of drops this season for Pittsburgh personnel. A lot going on there for Ben. Wow, too high and away. With Ben's reads and stuff on that last play.
Well, he had
Yeah,
Ebron
Andy,
one-on-one with a linebacker there, so it was a good job for him pre-snap, but it's just him
not
and Ebron
executed
off.
properly.
Yeah.
What do you mean you think you have to go? Of course you have to go for it. Touchdown, Schuster. I don't know why he's doing any sort of... You guys are going to have to, like, you're still down, Steelers. But this is interesting.
13-point game.
Well, Jimmy, it's a natural order of things. Like they're more likely to score more points than the Browns in any event, but especially when they're up, they're down that much. The Browns playing a bit softer, but I mean, here we go. The Browns. The one good thing is the Browns are built to play with a lead. Believe it or not, I would argue this is one of the strongest running games in the NFL. You can make concessions and you can point out the Ravens, for instance, or the Titans, but I really like the Browns. Yeah, but the ground attack's not going to help you when you're down. Really, any of that when you're down that much, Jimmy. It's meant for when you're up. The Browns are up.
In the league where they play.
Forepay.
I'm staying away from all of the opening lines so I can make some predictions and see how I differ.
Live.
Man, we put more effort into doing this show than the King of Florida does to film his commercials.
Wow. Have you seen his little compound? He's pretty successful. It's a
It
good
seems like
location
it.
where he's got it too. And to be honest, if I was getting flooring, I'd probably get it from him.
I don't even know what the other options are.
Yeah, exactly.
We're getting local commercials, untouchable. Nothing
just-
noteworthy.
There's this fat, like, a guy in worse shape than I am called the King of Floors, and he does commercials with his dog. And there's a very prominent highway where his showroom is, but it's really just a glorified warehouse with a giant banner, on that covers the whole one side of the building with his picture on it. So it's a little kooky. Rivers or Eli Manning over their career? I think win probability added, you probably had a higher percentage with Rivers to win a game. As far as success, though, it's undeniable that Eli Manning with 2 Super Bowl victories and I believe 2 MVPs, and Eli is also responsible for the greatest play in I would say NFL history. His pass to
The
I
helmet
can't
catch.
remember his name now. The helmet catch.
David
That's the
Tyree.
greatest play. David Tyree. Yep. So Rivers just never had playoff success, which is almost arbitrary too. I would imagine that he had a better regular season.
This is a great picture of Mike Tomlin.
I know, that was good. It just didn't work out in the playoffs. He had great regular season records.
If I had to pick one guy at his peak to win a game, it'd be Rivers over Eli.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, absolutely.
the Super Bowls are always going to be just an asterisk for Eli over.
Well, they're going to
a
carry
guy
more
like
weight,
Phillip.
right?
Yeah.
Because don't forget, before Peyton Manning had his second Super Bowl, like there was even chat about between the two, despite having every record imaginable, people still sided with Eli Manning because he played in the most important and interesting game. Wow, that could have been a big interception of Steven Nelson. Those Patriot wins in the Super Bowl, you can't. They're just so storied. It's amazing. And that was
your mic's
a pick
getting
six,
pretty
Jay.
staticky.
Check.
Yeah, I can hear you.
was almost a pick six. Rutrow is right, Indy. It's still the third quarter. Like, Pittsburgh isn't out of this by... I bet you they're plus 290.
I think you got to, like, plug it in and take it out. It's
Okay.
really staticky, more than usual. Plus 185 on the live line. That's unreal.
That's on... Check.
You sound awesome now.
Static?
No,
Okay,
it sounds perfect.
Okay, good. This is unbelievable.
That's unreal. Cleveland
Well, I
Browns
mean,
have
that's-
won 6 games since 1950 in Pittsburgh.
No, 1970 in Pittsburgh.
Oh, okay. That's still
They got to
6
remember,
wins
like,
in 50 years.
well, the Steelers have been good that entire time. Like, don't forget, from the 1950 to 1970, the Browns were way better than the Steelers. They were a way better team during all those time. I don't know if Pittsburgh would even called the Steelers then. I'm pretty sure it was. But anyways, they were just a stronger franchise. And then things flip. Like I said, over a long enough timeline, everybody becomes average. Everyone's 8-8.
That's good news for my penis.
Well, not everything can change, Big Fry. They got to be going for this, too.
Well, I was just going to say, this is an interesting decision for the Steelers to make.
Oh, it's 4th and 1. Please. Worst number 1 overall pick, Otis? I don't believe so.
When do the NFL contracts change for rookies? Because didn't Russell get paid a ton?
Yeah, he held out too. So I think it changed after Sam Bradford, or maybe the year after. Yeah. There you go. Beard's on board with me.
So in the last 20 years, I'll list off all the guys that were selected.
got it.
I'll bring it up here just so the stream can see too. We've got Courtney Brown selected in 2000. I'm not too familiar with Courtney Brown. Is he a receiver?
No, he's a defensive player. I believe for Cleveland. Yeah.
Michael
Didn't
Vick.
work out, but
Michael Vick was a success. David Carr played games.
No.
Carson Palmer played games. Eli Manning, Alex Smith, Mario Williams all ended up playing. Remember when Mario Williams and Reggie Bush, it was like out of this world that Mario Williams got picked ahead, and
yeah,
it actually kind of worked out.
it worked out great.
Jamarcus Russell is easily the least successful out of these 20 guys.
Not close.
Because Jake Long played very well until his injuries.
He was the best tackle in the league for about 4 years.
Stafford is still a very good player. Even Bradford has stuck around. Cam Newton, obviously a
MVP.
good player. Andrew Luck, good player. Eric Fisher, Super Bowl champion. Jadeveon Clowney.
Eric Fisher's still playing, right? At a high level.
Yeah. Jameis Winston, still in the league. Goff, still playing.
That's not close.
Playoff winner. Made it to the Super Bowl, and he's won a playoff game this year with a broken thumb, which that's always going to go down as a pretty big positive for Goff.
Did you see the size of his thumb? It looked like a hockey stick shaft. It was gross and massive.
I'm going to be honest. That was the first time I went against market factors, just knowing Goff was in. I live bet against the Rams, and he got it done. So kudos to him.
Yeah. And we love the Rams, too.
Oh, yeah. Myles Garrett's been great. Kyler Murray's been great. Mayfield's been pretty good. And Joe Burrow had an excellent rookie season.
Joe Burrow is unreal this year. 4th and 1, they're punting?
I think they do have the luxury of punting, but...
a one yard? They're really trying to get Cleveland to jump offside. This is hokey. 2 decisions here from Pittsburgh that I find insanely questionable. Good for me. I'd like Cleveland to win this game. It's 1 yard. You can't get a yard? Yeah, so they take the 5 yards to get a better punt, and it's still a touchback. It's just like these 2 decisions. So I saw one today from Vrabel and company on a 4th and 2, 4th and 1, and then now 2 times from the Steelers today. Doesn't make any sense. All right. That's why there is still a lot of room for forward thinking in the NFL when you see decisions like that.
Well, I feel like Steelers are more aggressive too, so it's kind of a surprise. Same with actually Tennessee and Vrabel. So both kind of out of left field.
Well, this is the thing though, Big Rye. It's one thing to do it against a mediocre team in the regular season. It's another thing to do it in the playoffs. Like you really have to have conviction, right? So I don't know. Maybe they don't really believe in that as much as I'd like to think. Whereas Frank Reich is a different animal. Frank Reich has moved to the top of the coaching ladder for the fat guy. Obviously, Bill is always going to be there, but I'm enamored. I'm becoming a Colts fan.
NFL teams and NFL coaches loved Bradford, and I just don't know if it translated to games and to winning.
I don't know what the Browns are doing, Mickey. Bradford got paid more than anyone I can remember at quarterback. I'm not even joking because those 1-year deals and 2-year deals, he often got paid more than people like Aaron Rodgers because Aaron Rodgers would have a massive deal, but he'd have to take like a lower average salary, right? Robert Spillane in no man's land there. Why are they even running play action? Well, it depends on the blockers, Otis. So, for instance, if the guy has a flush draw, how how many like it depends on the blockers. Like does it, the other does are the other guys flush draw? Is it paired up? That's number one. Number two, does the other guy like say it's diamonds? Do you have diamonds? Like how many diamonds do you have? It all matters on that type of stuff. So it's close though. It really is. I love this
Great
guy. This
play
guy's
call.
fantastic player. He's really
Great play
one of the
call.
best running backs I've witnessed. This guy's unbelievable.
I don't see any flags. That pretty much seals this game. Like
It's close. It's still not done.
It'd have to be a pretty big collapse now.
So there's no blockers on either side, Otis. Well, Otis, if you have a flush draw then and none of the pair outs are good, so what that would mean is that there's, yeah, that's about what it would be, because it'd be 9 for a flush, less the 4 outs for boating up or quadding up, so that's only 5 outs. Whereas if you're trying to boat up, you have 3, 6. 9 and then 1 for a quad out, so you have 10. You're actually a pretty big favorite. Yeah, you're actually a pretty big favorite. There's also something called card removal effect, Otis, where like you can almost infer from other action what other guys had in their hands. So and that's easier to do, right? Like if it was multi-way for at least one street, the chances of guys having paired up cards which block your full house outs are actually there. That's something I've worked on a lot, and it's something they don't teach in solvers. So I shouldn't even be saying that. 3-3 contest, 3-0 yesterday, 0-3 today. Well, that's how it works. Yeah, but we're not going, Indy. That's the interesting thing is I never try and make things about results. It's about making the best decision like that you can, right? And I don't like when they go, oh, they should have done this, or like, oh, they left points on the board. Well, I mean, it's like it's
The whole
easy
point
to
is
say.
to win the game. Like it doesn't matter if you
Yes.
lose by 40. Like you try to win, so you give yourself the best chance to win.
Yes.
And punting and losing a possession to gain whatever it was, 30 yards.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think that's worth it. The Browns also took the same approach that the Bills did in their game, and the Bills tried to be super offensive and actually let the Colts back into the game. And Browns were being like more aggressive than they probably needed to be right now, but it worked out for them. They get a touchdown.
Way
So
more aggressive.
It's one of those things where Pittsburgh actually had both Pittsburgh and Indy had pretty good chances of coming back, but doesn't look like it's going to work out for Pittsburgh.
I'm interested if Pittsburgh learns from this. Like if Mike Tomlin realizes there were two series where I could have gone for it on fourth, and I didn't. I wonder if there's any regret. I'm not doing that, Beard. Makeup's for girls. And last time I checked, my bits are still working.
He's talking about face paint. That's different than makeup.
No, it's not.
Man, fat guy keeping it fun and flirty with the makeup talk.
Got to draw a line somewhere.
I think anyone would take a 42-23 lead in the fourth quarter.
Al Michaels looks like my dad right now. It's brutal. Getting old sucks, apparently.
How much longer do you think Al Michaels calls games for?
Well, how much longer is he going to be gambling for?
Well, I know that's that's guaranteed forever. I think
you just answered your own question then.
I think he's going to stop calling games before he stops gambling.
I don't think he'd be able to make it work.
Well, if he started watching the show, he might do a little better.
Well, you didn't hear what he did. He said he'd give it was like 14,000 to 1 about Brady going to a different team.
And 14,000 to 1?
Yeah, that was like a few years ago. And then he lost to I don't know if he paid him, to his producer. So like I have a feeling that a lot of that stuff, like, it might be said in jest, but there's some truth behind that. Like,
so you're saying he's a terrible handicapper?
I think so, yeah. I don't think he's Musburger. Musburger is actually smart. I would like to see that clip, Mickey. I've never really watched a World Series, I got to be honest. Baseball's growing on me, though. I find it a little wimpy. You know what I mean? Like the Kurt Schilling sock thing, I didn't get. I'm like, so he had stitches that came undone? Who cares? Like, it just, compared to football and other sports, and, you know, most of us growing up, I find it, you know, and some guy injured himself sleeping or something one time. Like, there's a lot of wimpiness in that. But at the same time, as far as gambling opportunities, strategical, baseball is starting to grow on me. So,
what's the toughest?
I bought a book on it.
What's the toughest sport? Like, not even just the major sports.
Oh, not even close. It's got to be either Aussie rules or rugby.
Is that tougher than boxing or fighting?
I kind of think so, yeah.
Pride fighting?
Pride fighting's up there, though. Mind you, though, it's the thing is you pick up niggling injuries. You know, hockey, no way. No way. Hockey.
Josh Allen said or baseball. Untouchable.
Polo.
Untouchable drops.
Water polo is interesting. I'm still going to say Aussie rules or rugby.
Mickey said golf.
Yeah.
I sure wouldn't want to get hit with a golf ball, that's for sure. Jimmy calling his shots on Alabama winning. I hope so. They're like 8 or 9 point favorites.
Pride fighting was it ran concurrently with UFC during the mid 2000s, and it was UFC in a boxing ring in Japan with less rules. Like, you could stomp people's head, you could run and kick a guy in the face if he was on the ground. It was really good.
The other thing, the other thing too about pride fighting is they used to give out yellow and red cards.
What a touchdown to Claypool. Yeah, going back to what Big Rye said. Yeah, in pride fighting, if you weren't active enough, they gave you a yellow card, which the first one took off 10% of your purse. The second one was 25 or 30%, and then the third one is they took half of your money, and you and the fight you were disqualified. That only happened once, I believe, to Branko Sikatich at Pride 3 when he fought wrestler Mark Kerr. Mark Kerr was an animal, by the way. I watched every Pride event in some fashion, and I loved it. So, man, those were good. There was one fight that was so bloody. It was Kazushi Sakuraba against Ricardo Arona. They had to change the ring apron. And he what's his name? Kazushi Sakuraba got his skull crushed. It was a particularly brutal one. Enjoyable, though. I miss Pride. It's almost too gruesome now.
I love Pride. I love watching Pride fights.
It was awesome.
They had obviously on the Eastern Hemisphere, whatever you want to call it, the they had what is it called? Not joke fights, but they had
No, they're not. They're freak show fights.
Yeah.
They had a 7'6" guy fight a 5'6" Japanese man who won. They had Butterbean fought Zuluzinho, 900 pounds in the ring. It was fantastic. Yeah, Bas Rutten was the
Bob Sapp fights.
Sapp fights.
Boss Rutten's self-defense video is one of the funniest things you'll ever see.
Boss Rutten was the commentator for Pride, Mickey. Him and Steven Quadros. They were great. And then Mauro Ranallo. I loved it. Bob Sapp was in K1 for the most part, but there was some crossover there as well. There was one crossover event when Bob Sapp fought Antonio Rodrigo Nogueira. Nogueira won by armbar after getting very brutalized by a 350-pound Bob Sapp.
I like how Josh said gambling is the toughest sport, and Mudhole said confirmed it hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah, break a sweat every week. I don't think I ever saw Boss and Shamrock fight.
They did. Well, he fought they fought King of Pancrase, so that was pre everything. It was the first version. It kind of encompassed. It was Japanese, encompassed parts of professional wrestling with actual striking. So it was mostly submission fighting. So you could only hit with open palm strikes, and you could kick. But Boss was by far the best striker, so he won a lot of his fights by KO through liver punches and body kicks and palm strikes.
Nothing beats Butterbean.
Butterbean has a bunch of wins by submission, if you can believe that. And Pride had the open weight Grand Prix where anyone could enter. Well, they picked them realistically. 16 fighters. They fought until the final four, in single events, and then first down here from the Browns, and then on the final night on New Year's Eve, the semifinalists would fight at the beginning of the card, and then to end the tournament, the finalists would fight at the very end of the card. So they fought twice. They fought twice in one night, and then the winner would get $1 million. What's better than that? And
I love tournament fighting. I love it. I think there's nothing
awesome.
better. To think that a guy has to fight multiple people in one night.
Yeah, in one night. That was old UFC too.
And for a serious, that's a life-altering amount of money for a fighter.
Yeah.
Especially for a guy like that. Oh my goodness.
Mark Coleman won the first one. It was awesome. And then who won? There was a middleweight Grand Prix, Vanderlei Silva won. That was awesome. The problem was, though, Mauricio Hua, Shogun Hua won. because he fought Ricardo Arona. Ricardo Arona had a 30-minute fight against Vanderlei Silva, and Hua had a 4.5-minute fight where he beat Overeem. So it's not like and Arona came in exhausted and like beat up.
Yeah,
so yeah, 30-minute decision fight against a 4.5-minute strike fest. I wonder what the live odds on that would have been. Great play by Hunt. These guys are. I can't think of a better running back combo at getting those extra tough yards.
I don't know enough about the Pride Fight introductions. Could you tell me
what?
Like what was it?
Oh my goodness! They're the most pageantry you've ever seen. Air cannons, fireworks, sets of music. The interviews were black and white, like backlit, and all they did was say they're going to hurt the other guy. And there was like Japanese dancing, usually some sort of like prop. It was like Japanese pro wrestling to get him in the ring. It was great.
Another lineman down for the Cleveland Browns. This is not good, and that's a depth lineman too. So if he's out, I don't know how many more guys they've got to bring in.
Well, and that doesn't bode well for going forward.
It looks like Conklin's still out as well.
Well, you wouldn't want to risk Jack Conklin. He's a crux of your offensive line. Just put in a tight end.
Do they have enough linemen? Like how many? Yeah, they do. Hans.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
So Hans and Lamb are in. So keep an eye on the left guard for Cleveland. He missed his block there.
Mickey Hill, that's true. Gene LaBelle was a mean guy. He choked Steven Seagal out, and Steven Seagal shit his pants. It's a real story. That's so weird. They're mentioning the left guard has never practiced with the Cleveland Browns because he was signed because he wasn't in the facility, like because of the virus stuff. So why are they still throwing it, though? I'd like to know that. The ball almost came out, and Landry just was able to wrestle back possession. Why are they still throwing it, though, Big Rye?
It's the same thing that we were perplexed about with the Bills. Like, it's just what they're doing.
Like they're racing down to score again.
Well, to be fair here, Jarvis Landry's one-on-one with a linebacker, and like not a good coverage linebacker either. So
yeah, but like
it's a game of matchups, and if that's the matchup they've got and they want to take advantage of,
but that's it's the one thing. Counterproductive.
Well, like I could like if you got like 9 guys in the box, I can see why you'd throw the ball. They've packed the box here, and they have a run for. Yeah,
but there's not a chance of the ball getting dropped. Like that's 45 seconds
gone. There's
always
a chance that there could be a fumble, but it's less of a chance.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. It's not how I would do it. It's not how you would do it, but it's what
an incomplete is worse than a 1-yard loss.
It is, but two of these runs, they're going to end up throwing on third down. That's my guess, but probably not. They're in field goal range, so this seems like a place where they'll probably keep the ball on the ground. They don't. They throw. They get Njoku over the middle. It just seems like they've got a pretty good matchup there with what the Steelers are doing on defense.
Chris Collingsworth said he's thrilled for David Njoku. David Njoku asked to be traded, and he's barely done anything this year. What are you thrilled about? Like, what are they doing? Like, I understand it's worked, but This is almost locked up here. And here's another thing too. As far as making a play, what's more likely, your running back with one or two guys in front of them, or a lob to a tight end, like, or a laser to a tight end? Like, you're way more likely to turn the ball over that way.
Well, it's kind of like Mickey said. They're just playing more aggressive. It's going to be dependent on the style, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's not. You and I are fairly
It's very
conservative.
suboptimal.
Yeah, you and I are proponents of keeping the clock running, keeping the ball on the ground.
When you're winning. But the part that I find perplexing is teams that are losing are so easy to adapt a chuck it to keep the clock stopped if I'm wrong. But then when they're winning, they won't conversely have a largely run-based offense to keep the clock moving. Like, they only care in one instance.
I think it just also has to do with how the league has become a lot more pass heavy. But that's the reason why you see so many 10-point leads squandered this year more than any year.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
The game's evolving a little bit. Like 10 years ago, like every single one of these plays would be a run. But that's just not how it is anymore. You know, it goes back to those like analytics that people have shared with us about like expected points per play, like the numbers for Tannehill compared to Henry. Tannehill was like 160 and Henry was like 30. It just puts the emphasis on how, you know, being able to move the ball down the field is just more effective with the pass. But
it's more.
It's dependent on, you know. We're talking about something completely different than that, though. We're talking about
closing a game out.
Closing this game and winning.
Like, it's fine to have, like, it's fine to do what you had mentioned, right? Like, be a pass-based offense, but at some point, you're gonna want to keep, like, you're gonna want to run the clock, right? Like, you're just way more likely with a strong running game. And not to mention a strong running game, like, they haven't calculated with all those stats the residual effects of a fresh defense. Like you said, I bet you it's better health wise, I would imagine too. Jay's got a great comment. Offensive coordinators probably look for more secondary mismatches than interior. That's a great explanation.
I'd also say a lot of younger quarterbacks as well. Sorry, in my mind, I was thinking of King of Floors, and I was thinking of what was that ridiculous local commercial, and one of them just popped up.
Oh, Dodds Furniture, yeah.
Oh, those are unreal. That's a good point, Untouchable, and the thing that I was just about to talk about this too before you brought it up, but I think this is one of those things where a guy like Peyton Manning doesn't get enough due for how good he was at the line of scrimmage and how good he was at calling plays. Because, like, at the end of a game, like, Peyton Manning wasn't trying to, like, you know, drop 8 touchdowns. I'm sure there was games where he was, but he felt like a guy that was just trying to win games. And, like, being able to audible to different runs, I feel like is so valuable when it comes to closing out games. I'm not sure if a guy like Mayfield is set up to be able to do that.
I agree. Most of your audibles should be run direction too, right? Like, and running out of one type of formation. And then, not to mention too, you had a good point about Peyton Manning's pre-snap reads. It had to be that way. Peyton Manning is the worst athlete I can think of that has ever played in the National Football League. I can't maybe Kerry Collins, you know. But I mean, and even then, I'm sure in real life, like they're outfox us in every sport. But as far as like compared to NFL athletes, they're very very poor. So you'd have to have some sort of optimal talent to counteract that. And Peyton Manning's was his brain first and foremost, because his arm strength waned his entire career, especially after that neck operation that allowed him to move to Denver.
Yeah, APND's bringing up like variance in running backs and fumbles. That's why it's funny when like a guy fumbles maybe like twice in a game, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, he's not going to get any more touches. Like,
yeah, that's true.
have a
Good
good
night,
night,
Mud.
Mud.
Congratulations. What a call. Have a good one.
Yeah, that defensive touchdown. First touchdown of the game, Mud had on the Browns defense for a large amount.
I enjoyed that. Actually gave me some personal joy for him to take a shot like that and then just right off the bat.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was great. Have a good one.
Jackson informed me on the Discord that it was a winning night for NBA, so that's nice.
That's good.
So, interesting enough, this is still a 16-point game unless my math's off. So it is a 2-score game. Pittsburgh still has all 3 timeouts. That's it. That's it. That's pretty much the nail in the coffin. Sion Takitaki.
It was tough. That angle they just showed, it was really hard to see Taki. I got to be real.
Cleveland is going to play at Kansas City. Have a good night, Otis.
No, they can't fear. Yeah, Otis, have a good one. Cleveland at Kansas City, as Big Rye had mentioned.
So, kind of a crazy stat in this game. Like, I know this game isn't over, so we don't know what the final score is going to be, but the Browns are up 16, but there's been a five turnovers have been created by the Browns defense. So the last coach to win a playoff game for the Cleveland Browns was Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
And what was that, 1994?
Yeah.
So we would have been around 7 years old the last time the Browns
Yeah.
won a playoff game.
Yeah.
We are now into our, I don't know, mid to late 40s. The NFL film stuff is awesome. Or even like Untouchable, if you really want to get crazy, watch like an NHL game from like the 70s. Guys would just it'd be like a guy would like across the blue line have a slap shot. And it was like an automatic goal.
Dude, they're like smoking in the penalty box,
Yeah.
slashing, big rye, big wooden sticks, just like hitting, like using it as a weapon.
Oh, it's crazy.
No helmets.
And the goalies look like if I tried to play goalie right now without pads on. That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even think my head would touch the crossbar.
Dude, and think of this too. The goalie pads, the equipment. Like imagine the difference between at the start of the game and afterwards. It's probably like 20 pounds of pad. Because those old leather ones are gonna soak up all of the ice, all the water.
Indy, I don't know if I agree with that completely. The Steelers have been there's some bad dudes on the offensive defensive lines for those on both sides of the ball.
I don't even think they have good corners, to be honest.
Have a good night, Fear. We'll catch
See
you
if you're having a good one.
Catch you for the divisional round.
You played hockey in the 80s, the equipment? Oh, yeah, I can't imagine. I can't imagine.
Is that Haslam down on the sidelines?
Yeah, yeah.
I haven't seen this guy anywhere close to a field ever. And now all of a sudden they're going to win a playoff game and he's Jerry Jones and Arthur Blank down at the sidelines.
Him and Andrew Barry. Well, dude, the guy's pretty excited, man.
Fat guy, do you have any scheduling plans for the live streams for next week?
I think more than likely we're going to do both. So there's a chance that Saturday could be in flux, but I'll know more so during the week, but very high probability that Saturdays will go as well.
So most likely we'll be doing both, Mickey. It's interesting, Indy, because the Browns started trying to build outside, like with their receivers and drafting Denzel Ward, but they've managed to build
they fired that GM, Big Ryan.
Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, the current Browns GM came from Kansas City.
I'm not sure where he came from. I know he's a Harvard economics graduate. I like him. I know that much.
Andrew Barry.
Jedrick Wills. I like their first round pick.
He came from Philadelphia.
There you go. At least they didn't get booed. That's true. Tomlin should have brought out the big wooden cross, and maybe things would have worked out a bit better. Maybe redemption for Mike Singletary.
Books were tough this weekend as far as like they're just taking for most of these games, especially today, they just took money on both sides on pretty much everything and took the juice. They the books had to have done well yesterday. let Russ cook, let Russ punt, let Russ pass block. Yeah, it's unfortunately that's
you know what's interesting to me on that high snap? Why didn't Connor just try and like punch it out when he couldn't grab it? Like knock it out the end zone for a safety?
well, it seemed like they were just in shock that it happened because he should have been able to fall on that ball fairly easily, but it never happened. Yeah, the market was it was definitely fairly even today. But square bettors, not for this game, but for the square bettors did well on the Saints. Square bettors would have done well on Baltimore. But I'm sure a lot of people probably had the 3-team parlays, and the Steelers were probably included.
Yeah, Steelers money line.
Yeah, or even like a tease down, like a Steelers plus 2.5 or something. I don't know how they all work.
I wonder how Sports Guide did on a. Oh no, he teased the Steelers to plus 20.
So they're letting this play out? Okay, I was just gonna say.
Absolutely, Jay, in the league where they play.
Adrian Claiborne, the guy who famously said he only has one move.
Yeah.
But then picked up, 5 or 6 sacks in a game against Dallas?
Against Chaz Green.
I'm not looking ahead at any line zaps because we're going to be doing a video right after this. Josh Allen has a dilemma, but he's heard it from you, fat guy. He's got to stay loyal to the dollar.
Absolutely. And to be honest, the good thing is, hoping and wishing for something, it doesn't matter what side you choose. That's the one good thing. So whatever way you lean, you can still like that result because it has no impact on what's actually happening. So you think that you had value on the Ravens and you bet the Ravens, then that's good. You can let it ride.
The the Jimmy Graham catch comes to mind. Watching that catch, it is a little bit of a shame some of these guys don't get more opportunities to just make plays because that was a really nice catch from Juju Smith-Schuster.
That's unbelievable. No, I think Tomlin did fine. You know, this is a good season for the Steelers. It really was. Just didn't work out, right? It's hard to win playoff games. Connor got it.
That was a nice move. That was not an easy move to make, making that catch.
He wasn't expecting to get the ball either.
I didn't see which Brown it was that just got juked, but 42.
What's Richardson doing back there?
Roethlisberger started, he rolled out of the pocket, so it was just natural for him to be heading out that way. And I would hardly say this game falls on Tomlin at all. Like the first play of the game, the center snaps the ball over the quarterback's head, and it's a defensive touchdown. Like I don't know what a coach is supposed to do on a play like that.
I called it. 500 passing yards. I called it.
Yeah. 4 interceptions, 5 turnovers for the Steelers is what kills them. And I don't know how much of that's on the coaching staff at all. That's turnovers like that are on players.
20. How many fantasy points is that? 36 minus 8. 28. What? That was a good one. I like that one.
The game is officially done now. There's only one timeout left, 1:08 left on the clock, so NFL record for completions for Roethlisberger. How many did he have?
I think 48.
That's what happens when you go down 28-0. Yeah, 47 completions for Roethlisberger, 501 yards, 4 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Juju Smith-Schuster, 157 yards and a touchdown. Deontay Johnson, 117 yards. Yeah, this is... All these guys had 5 or more receptions. Juju Smith-Schuster, Deontay Johnson, Eric Ebron, James Washington, Chase Claypool, and James Conner. That's something. Yeah, this is a Ben stat line from back in the day. It's I wonder how many more years Roethlisberger plays. Everyone keeps talking about Drew Brees. And that last knee seals it. This game is over. A 48-37 win for Cleveland Browns. Roethlisberger on the bench now. That's going to become a meme for sure to start out with. But that kind of looks like a face, like that kind of looks like an I'm going to retire face. Well, let me quickly update the leaderboard. Yeah, Juju on the bench. So we had 4 people in the contest managed to go 5-1. Fat Guy, aka Jive Turkey, Gay for Fat Guy, Mad Capper, and Keldar.
Pretty good.
Not too bad. Untouchable 4-2 in the contest. DJ Sherwin 4-2 in the contest. Shout out to DJ Sherwin. Jimmy 888 4-2 as well. Nice to see. You and I ended up 2-4. Not a strong wild card for us.
Nope.
But that's it for the live stream, guys. We are going to be signing off here, and we are going to be signing right back on. So if you are a member, stay tuned. We're going to have that live stream up in just a moment. We're going to take a look at the divisional matchups and the divisional lines and see if there's any value. Otherwise, you guys have a good night. Mickey wants you to update fantasy as well.
I'm doing it right now.
He said he's doing it right now. But we'll catch you guys later, and we'll be back on just shortly with the opening lines video.
See you guys soon.